This video is for the Real News versus Fake News Project Assignment 1 slideshow first. You should be on the template. You're going to click on File and then click Make a Copy and click OK. Then from here what you're going to do is you're going to open up a new tab and you're going to search for a news story. So for example, I'm going to just type in MBTA news for information about commuter rail trains. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the first link. And then what I'm going to do is click on a title. So then what I'm going to do is click and drag to highlight the title of the article and hit Control-C on my keyboard. Then from here, what I'm going to do is click back over to the template. I'm going to click where it says click to add subtitle and add your name. So I'm adding my name, you'll add yours. And then from here, you're going to click on slide 2. And then where it says article 1, you're going to double click on the line and then hit Control-Shift-V on your keyboard. And that's going to paste the title of the article. And so then basically what you're going to do is you're going to double click on the line where it says this article tells about, and you're just going to tell kind of the main idea of the article. So this article tells about how Yawkey Station is being renamed. And then what you're going to do is you're going to double click. One thing it includes is, so if we just take a look at the article and get some ideas of things that it talks about. It's going to happen on April 8th. And it's going to happen prior to the first Red Sox home game. And it has no effect on schedule. So what we're going to do right here is I'm just going to go ahead and click back over and double click on the line. So one thing it includes is that the change will take place April 8th. And then another thing that it includes is that so I'm just going to double click. Second thing it includes is that the change happens before the first Red Sox home game. And then finally it includes, and I'm just going to double click on that last line, and finally includes that the schedule will not change. So the train schedule will not change. And then from here what we're going to do is we're going to click outside the text box and you're just going to hit backspace on your keyboard. So now you've basically got your own paragraph here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click on slide 3 and then where it says according to author's name and year written, what you're going to do is you're going to click back over to the and there is no author here, but it says down at the bottom that it was written by Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click and drag to highlight that line of who created it and then hit Control-C. You will notice that it has the year 2019. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click back over to my copy of the Real News versus Fake News, double click under where it says author's name. I'm going to hit Control-Shift-V. And then where it has the parentheses, you're going to double click and then type in 2019. And then from here, what you're going to do is copy and paste a quote from the article. So you're going to just click back onto the article, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy this sentence. So you just highlight a sentence and then hit Control-C on your keyboard to copy it. Click back over to the copy of Real News versus Fake News. Double click in between the quotation marks and then hit Control-Shift-V on your keyboard. Then you're going to do the same thing right here. In addition, according to, and actually I'm just going to go ahead and copy this right here because it's also going to be Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority 2019. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control-C, and I'm just going to click and drag to highlight all this stuff up until the comma. and then hit Control Shift V. And then we're going to get a second quote, so I'm just going to go ahead and click back to the article. And then we're going to go ahead and just click and drag to highlight a sentence, hit Control C on your keyboard, click back over to your work, and then double click in between the quotation marks and then hit Control Shift V on your keyboard. And then we're just going to click outside of the text box and hit backspace on your keyboard. So then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click on the next slide, Article 2. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to find a fake news article. So empirenews.net is a website that has fake news. So we're just going to go ahead and go to empirenews.net. Make sure you copy the correct spelling, hit enter. And then from here, what you're going to do is pick out a fake news story. So, for example, I'm just going to go ahead and rest my pointer on entertainment and click on a story. So this one happens to be about no babies born, no living people died on February 27th, 2019. But of course, this is a fake news website. So what we're going to do is we're going to click and drag to highlight the title and then hit Control C on your keyboard. You're going to click back over to your work, and then you're going to double click on the line where it says Article 2, and then hit Control Shift V on your keyboard. Then what you're going to do is you're going to double click on the line next to where it says this article tells about. So you're just going to say something like, this article tells about how nobody was born and nobody died on February 27th this year. Okay, then what we're going to do is one thing it includes is, so we're going to go back over to the news story, and we're just going to scroll down and take a look of basically what it's about. So one thing it says is that everyone is puzzled, you know, and normally there are nearly 2,000 deaths and about 220,000 births every day throughout the world. So we're just going to click back over to our work here and double click. One thing that is included is, and we're going to double click that people are puzzled. And then a second thing it includes is, and if we double click, second thing it includes is that usually 200,000 people die in a day. And then finally it includes, and we're just going to double click on that last line, is that 220,000 people are usually born in a day. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the next slide, which is slide 5. And then we're going to get some quotes. So what we're going to do next is just click back over to the article, and we're going to scroll up to the top so that we can get the author's name. So in the year, so it was written in 2019 by Bob the Empire News Potato. So we're just going to go ahead and click and drag to highlight the author's name, and then hit Control C on your keyboard. You're going to click back over to your work. And then where it says according to author's name, so I'm just going to double click and then hit Control Shift V on your keyboard, and it's going to paste that person's name. And then you're going to double click in the parentheses and then type in 2019. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to click back over to the article, and you're going to find a sentence. So you're just going to go ahead and click and drag to highlight, and then hit Control C on your keyboard. And then you're going to click back over to your work, and then double click in between the quotation marks and hit Control Shift V on your keyboard. Then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to click and drag to highlight the author's name again, so in the year right here. And then we're going to click and drag right here just until right before the comma, and then hit Control-Shift-V on your keyboard. So make sure that, you know, what should happen is it should copy and paste the author's name and the year again right here. And so then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to get a second sentence. So we're going to just click back over here. And so then we're going to just click and drag to highlight a sentence and then hit Control-C on your keyboard. And then click back over to your work. And then you're going to double click on the line in between the quotation marks and then hit Control-Shift-V on your keyboard. So then what we're going to be doing next is you're just going to scroll down to the end and click on slide 8. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click on the, let's see, right here, up at the top where it says the article blank is real. So what you're going to do is you're going to put in the title of the first article. So the title of the first article, if we scroll back up to slide 2, sorry, it's a little blurry. You're just going to go ahead and click and drag to highlight the title, hit Control-C on your keyboard. Then you're going to click back over to slide 8, so down here, slide 8. We're going to double click on the line between the quotation marks, hit Control-Shift-V on your keyboard, and then you're going to give 2 reasons why it's real. So we're going to double click on the line, and we can say that it comes from the official MBTA website because we know that it's from mbta.com, and we also saw that at the bottom it said copyright Massachusetts Bay Transit Authority. Another reason that we can say that the website is real is if we open up another tab and we type in something like Yawkey Station renamed, and then we see that there are lots of other websites that say that it's going to be renamed. So we're just going to click back over to your work and then double click on the line right here under where it says give second reason why this is real. We can say because many other websites say that the station is being renamed. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on slide 4 so that we can copy the title of Article 2. So we're going to just click and drag to highlight that title, hit Control-C on your keyboard. You're going to click back over to slide 8 and then double click on the line between the quotation marks and then hit Control-Shift-V. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add information about why it is likely fake. So basically what you're going to do is go ahead and double click on the line where it says it's likely fake because what we're going to do is go ahead and click on another tab and then search Empire News. So that's our source. You're not going to click on empirenews.net, but what you're going to do is that you can say that one site says that it's for entertainment purposes only. So for example, we're just going to click back over to your work. And we're going to double click on the line next to where it's likely fake and say something like a Google search showed that the website is for entertainment purposes. So in other words, it's not actual news. Then we're going to click back over to the Google search. And then what we're going to do is click on the link that says Media Bias Fact Check to see what the fact check says. And so basically it says that the source uses humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule. So we're just going to click back over to copy of real news and versus fake news project. And then what you're going to do is double click on the last line, and you're going to say something like media bias / fact check said the website was for humor. So in other words, it's just meant to be a funny fake news website. And that's it.